So for the first time in years, it actually feels like the Arkham series might be back for real. Not speculation, not wishful thinking, not Reddit fan fiction. There are actually legit reports, actual industry sources, and real movement behind the scenes pointing to Rocksteady going back to Batman. And today, I want to break down everything we actually know. Not the rumors, not the fake leaks, but what's actually happening, why it's happening, where this game might be sitting in the timeline right now, and what this reboot probably looks like after everything that went wrong. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy, your chaos. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on those notifications, and yes, I read every single comment on every single video. Let's start with the obvious question. Why are we suddenly hearing about a Batman Arkham reboot? Well, the honest answer is, we all know, Suicide Squad killed the momentum, like in its path, destroyed it, sucked it, put it into the cloud, and it's gone. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League didn't just underperform, it straight up forced Warner Brothers to rethink what Rocksteady should even be doing. Bloomberg reported that the game lost Warner Brothers around $200 million. That's a lot. It's insane for a studio that used to be one of their safest bets. Rocksteady, they were known for one thing: single-player, narrative-driven Batman games that people actually replayed. And instead, they spent almost a decade chasing live service trends that nobody asked for. So after that, let's just call it a bomb, the studio had layoffs. They restructured, and internally, it sounded like Warner Brothers stepped in and said, that's enough. Go back to what works. And that is where we pick up about the Batman Arkham reboot. Earlier this year, Bloomberg reported that Rocksteady is working on a single-player new Batman game. It's not a multiplayer thing. It's not a live service thing. It's not connected to the Suicide Squad in any way. You won't be seeing anything about the Suicide Squad for a long time. Think about that too. That IP, it's rich in storytelling. There's so many fun characters in there, but it has flopped twice with movies. Well, one major flop, one I guess is debatable, and the video game. This is a full return to Batman. The important part here is it wasn't framed as a pitch. It wasn't framed as a concept. It was actually described as the studio's next project, even though it's still years away. I mean, for me, that alone is massive because Rocksteady doesn't casually leak their direction through Bloomberg. That's not how rumors start. That is how information gets out when the executives are involved. And yes, trust me, there is a pipeline of what information they want out and when they want it out and what leaks they want out. Usually when you see video game leaks, for the most part. Now, some of those big ones were like Rocksteady was actually hacked and things like that. Those are real, but for the most part, it's all strategy. It's all planned, and they know exactly what's happening. Now, before you start asking me about release dates, hold on. The game isn't coming anytime soon. James Gunn himself said that new DC games tied to their future plans are still a couple years out minimum. He also confirmed that DC Studios is now involved in discussions with game developers very early on, meaning they are reviewing the concepts, the story directions, and how games actually fit into the new, bigger DC picture that he is completely in charge of. So realistically, you're probably looking at 2026 at the absolute earliest, more than likely 2027 or later. Now, it's a long-term reset. That's okay. As long as it's good, we're ready for that. Now, this is where things get interesting if you're a Batman fan, specifically an Arkham fan. Nobody's calling this Arkham 5. That matters, okay? Arkham Knight was a very, let's just say, final ending. I guess spoiler alert here. Bruce Wayne's story wrapped up. The Nightfall Protocol happened, and Rocksteady pretty clearly closed the book. So you add to the fact that Kevin Conroy is no longer with us, rest in peace, and it becomes very hard to just continue that version of Batman. So that's why most reporting refers to it as a reboot, not a sequel. Now, that doesn't mean they're throwing away Arkham DNA. It just means they're probably going to start fresh. So think new continuity, new Batman voice actor, possibly younger, earlier career Batman, cleaner entry point for new players. This is definitely less Arkham Knight 2 and more Arkham reimagined for a new generation. Now, another big piece that flew under the radar was that Rocksteady hired Bill Money as game director. Imagine your last name being Money and your first name being Bill. That's just awesome. Bill Money worked on Batman Arkham Origins and later became a major creative lead at Ubisoft on Assassin's Creed projects. This is not his first go-around. And that hire is not random. Rocksteady didn't bring in someone from the live service space. They brought in someone with experience building third-person, narrative-driven action games, especially ones tied to established IPs. What does that tell you? What does that tell you what kind of game they're actually going for here. We also know that this game is being built currently on the Unreal Engine 5, and that came straight from Rocksteady job listings looking for senior engine programmers with UE5 experience for an unannounced AAA project, which were targeting PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and high-end PC. This also matters because UE5 completely changes what Gotham would look like. Think way denser environments, better lighting, shadows, more dynamic city detail, smoother traversal, better AI, better NPCs. I mean, Arkham Knight already pushed those visuals hard, and that was all the way back in 2015. That was 11 years ago. An Unreal Engine 5 Batman game could be genuinely next level if Rocksteady can stick this landing. Now, what are we getting? I mean, stories, characters, what we actually don't know. And I want to be really clear here. There are no verified story leaks out there right now. There's no confirmed villains. There's no confirmed timeline. There is no confirmed playable characters beyond Batman. So anything you've seen about specific villains, about the Bat family members, or even plot twists, that's speculation at the best, which it's fun to speculate. It is. What we can reasonably assume is that Batman is a sole playable focus again. Single player campaign will be the priority again. Narrative is going to be front and center again, and there probably won't be any forced multiplayer hooks. And honestly, that's all most Arkham fans and Batman fans, myself included, want. I mean, it's not about another Batman game. It's about whether Rocksteady can recover its reputation. They are once in the same conversation as Naughty Dog and CD Projekt Red, studios that at one point you trusted blindly. Suicide Squad, it completely destroyed that. I don't know if it destroyed it. It definitely damaged that trust. So a proper Arkham reboot is their chance to rebuild that. I mean, if they rush it, it fails. If they chase trends again, it fails. If they respect what made Arkham special, this could actually put them back on the map. So I said I like to speculate, and I do, and none of this is confirmed, but let's definitely talk about which Batman we're going to be getting. It gets interesting because once you strip away what's confirmed, you're left with the big question: what version of Batman does Rocksteady even make now? Because continuing Arkham Knight, it doesn't make sense anymore. The story, like I said, ended very deliberately. Bruce died. The Nightfall Protocol happened. Gotham moved on. And on top of that, Kevin Conroy is gone. You don't just casually step back into that timeline and pretend none of that matters. So if this really is a reboot, there's a couple very specific directions they could go. First option, probably the cleanest, is early career Batman. Not year one exactly, but early enough that Gotham still feels dangerous. Batman is still figuring things out, and the Rogues Gallery isn't even fully established yet. I would say think Pat-Bat in a way. Yeah, that gives Rocksteady some freedom. You could reintroduce characters without baggage. You could redesign villains. You could simplify the lore without needing a 20-minute recap video just to understand what's happening. And honestly, that's probably the safest move. Second option is a soft reboot. You have the same Arkham-style world, same tone, new continuity that borrows ideas from the following strict canon. You have the same combat feel, same detective-heavy gameplay, story. It stands on its own. I mean, this would let Rocksteady keep what worked mechanically without being trapped by their own endings. And then we talk about characters, and I don't think this game goes huge right out of the gate. I really don't. I know we want to think that they do that, but I don't think they do. No Joker. No Joker. I don't see this being a full Bat family game. I don't. Not Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, Red Hood, all the playable day ones, right? I think this is going to be something you build towards, not start with, especially if you're trying to regain trust. My guess, Batman solo. Maybe Alfred plays a bigger role. Maybe Gordon is more present. And then you introduce one or two supporting characters max. Not everyone. Villain-wise, I would actually expect him to pull back on that too. Instead of every villain at once like we've seen so many times, this feels like a game that focuses on one central antagonist with smaller villains acting as side threats. We always say in the Spider-Man world with Tom Holland, we want ground-level Spider-Man, right? We want ground-level Batman. At least I do. I don't speak for everybody, but I think a lot of you are probably on the same page there, and you would be patient letting this new world work itself out with villains. And usually what you see happens, they cram all the villains in, and there's a huge roster of villains for Batman, and then they have to get Joker in there, and Scarecrow, right? And Penguin. What if they didn't do that out of the gate? What if they gave us a grounded villain? Maybe someone who fits the reboot tone. Think less world-ending stakes, more personal pressure. Boots on the ground here, ground level. And if Rockstar is smart, they avoid Joker being the main villain, at least at first. Joker's been done perfectly, done multiple times. He doesn't need to be gone forever, but bringing him back immediately just feels like playing the hits instead of building something new, which they need to do here. So tone-wise, I don't think it goes lighter. Even with James Gunn involved at the DC level, this is still Batman. Arkham worked because it was serious without being self-important. It was dark, but not edgy for the sake of being dark. So if anything, I would expect something more grounded, more detective-focused, maybe slower in places. Let Gotham breathe instead of turning everything into this constant action set piece. And the big thing to remember here is Rocksteady does not need to reinvent Batman. They just need to stop fighting what they're good at. What they're really good at is focused stories, strong atmosphere, tight combat, and a Batman that feels like a human that's under the cowl. So that is my speculation for what happens. I'm not even going to go into characters or anything like that, or which comic are we going to pull Batman from? Are we going to get Batman and Robin? Are we going to get Damian? I don't know. I have no idea, but we'll find out. And I'm telling you, they have to do this right. They can't just do this like they have in the past with like Suicide Squad and stuff, or we're done. We are absolutely done. I really feel that way. So yes, the Arkham reboot is real. It's happening. It's just not close. Rocksteady is going back to Batman, and Warner Brothers is backing it. DC Studios is involved. The studio is rebuilding from the ground up. The real question is, did they learn the right lessons? You guys let me know what you want from the reboot. Clean slate, light continuity, which Batman do you want? Drop it in the comments, and I'll see you soon.